king had no effect with the Duke of Albany and Cornwall.
It did always seem so to us, but now in the division of the kingdoms, it appears not which of the dukes he favors most.
Is not this your son, my lord?
His breeding, sir, hath been at my charge. I have so often blushed to acknowledge him that now I am praised to it.
I cannot conceive you.
Sir, this young fellow's mother could, whereupon she grew bound wound, and indeed, sir, had a son for her cradle, ere she had a husband for her bed. Do you smell a fault?
I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being so proper.
But I have, sir, a son by order of law some year elder than this, who yet is no dearer in my account, though this young knave came something saucily into the world before he was called for. Yet was his mother fair, and there was great sport at the making, and the horse son must be acknowledged. Edmund, do you know this noble gentleman?
No, my lord.
My lord of Kent, remember of hereafters, my honorable friend.
My services to your lordship.
I must love you and soon to know you better.
Sir, I shall study deserving.
He hath been out these 7 years, and the way he shall again. The king is coming.
Attend the lords of France and Burgundy and Gloucester.
I shall, my lord.
Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. Know we have divided in 3 our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths, while we, unburdened, crawl toward death. Our son of Cornwall, and you, our no less loving son of Albany, we have this hour a constant will to publish our daughter's several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. The princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court, have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you shall we say doth love us most, that we our largest bounty may extend, where nature doth with merit challenge? Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I love you more than words can wield the matter. Dearer than eyesight, space, liberty, beyond what can be valued rich or rare, no less than life itself, with grace, health, beauty, honor. As much as child e'er loved, or father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable. Beyond all manner of so much, I love you.
What shall Cordelia speak? Love and be silent.
Of all these bounds, and now, our joy, although our last, not least, whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest. What can you say to draw a third, more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Ah? Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty, according to my bond, no more, nor less.
Oh. Oh. Cordelia. Mend your speech a little, lest you may mar your fortunes.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as a right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands if they say they love you all? Haply, when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I should never marry like my sisters to love my father all.
What goes thy heart with this?
Aye, good my lord.
So young and so untender.
So young, my lord, and true.
Thy truth then be thy dower, but by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Hecate and the night, by all the apparitions of the orbs from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee from this forever, the barbarous Scythian, or he that makes his generation messes to gorge his appetite. Shall to my bosom be as well neighboured, pitied, and relieved as thou, my sometime daughter.
Good my liege!
Darkies can come not between the dragon and his wrath. I loved her most, and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery out of my sight. So be my grave, my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France. Who stirs? Call Burgundy. Cornwall and Albany. With my two daughters' dowers, digest this third. Let pride, which she calls plainness, marry her. I do invest you jointly with my powers, preeminence, and all the large effects that troop with majesty. Ourself, by monthly course, with a reservation of 100 knights by you to be sustained, shall our abode make with you in due turn. Only we shall retain the name, and all the addition to a king. The sway, revenue, execution of the rest, beloved sons, be yours, which to confirm this coronet part betwixt you.
Royal Lear, whom may I ever honor as my king, loved as my father, as my master followed, as my great patron, thought on in my prayers.
The bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft.
Let it fall under the fork and be the region of my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. What wouldst thou do, old man? Thinkest thou that duty have dread to speak when power to flattery bows? To playless honest bound when majesty stoops to folly. Oh. Reserve thy state, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. Answer my life, my judgment. Thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor those empty-hearted whose low sounds revert no hollowness.
Kent! On thy life no more!
My life I never held but as a pawn to wage against thine enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being motive.
Out, vassal, from my sight!
See better, Lear, and let me still remain the true blank of thine eye.
Now, by Apollo!
By Apollo, king, thou swearest thy gods in vain.
Oh, vassal, miscreant!
Yes, sir, forbid! Know thy position, and the fee bestow upon the foul disease. Revoke thy gift, or whilst I can bid clamor from my throat, I tell thee thou dost evil!
Hear me, recreant on thine allegiance! Hear me! Since thou hast sought to make us break our vow, which we durst ne'er yet, and with strained pride to come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee for provision to shield thee from disasters of the world, and on the 6th to turn thy hated back upon our kingdom. If on the next day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. Away! By Jupiter, this shall not be revoked.
Fare thee well, king, sith thus thou wilt appear. Freedom lives hence, and banishment is here. The gods to their dear shelter take thee, maid, that justly thinkst, and hath most rightly said. And your large speeches may your deeds approve, that good effects may spring from Thus Kent, O princes, bids you all adieu. He'll shape his old course in a country new.
Here's France and Burgundy, my noble lord.
My lord of Burgundy, we first address toward you, who with this king hath rivaled for our daughter. So what is the least you will require in present dower with her, or cease your quest of love?
Most royal majesty, I crave no more than half your highness offered, nor will you tender less.
Right noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so, but now her price is fallen. So there she stands, if aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it, with our displeasure peace, and nothing more, may fitly like your grace, she's there, and she is yours.
I know no answer.
Sir, will you, with those infirmities she owns, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, dowered with our curse, strangered with our oath, take her or leave her?
Pardon me, royal sir, election makes not up on such conditions.
Then leave her, sir, for by the powers that made me, I tell you all her worth. Great king, I would not from your love make such a stray to match you where I hate. Therefore beseech you divert your liking a worthier way than on a wretch whom nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers.
This is most strange, that she who e'en but now was your best object, the argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this thrice of time commit a thing so monstrous to dismantle so many folds of favor? Sure her offense must be of such unnatural degree that monsters it, or your full vouched affection fall in taint, which to believe of her must be a fate that reason, without miracle, could never plant in me.
I yet beseech your majesty, if for I want that glib and oily art to speak and purpose not, since what I well intend I'll do it before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious blot, murder or foulness, no unchaste action or dishonored step that hath deprived me of your grace and favor, but e'en for want of that for which I'm richer, a still soliciting eye and such a tongue as I'm glad I have not, though not to have it hath lost me in your liking.
Go to, but thou'st not been born, and not to please me better.
Is it but this? A tardiness in nature that often leaves the history unspoke that it intends to do? My lord of Burgundy, what say you to the lady? Love's not love when it is mingled with regards that stand aloof from the entire point. Will you have her? She is herself a dowry.
Royal Lear, give but that portion which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy.
Nothing. I've sworn I'm firm.
I'm sorry then you so lost a father that you must lose a husband.
Peace be with Burgundy. Since that respects of fortune are his love, I shall not be his wife.
Fairest Cordelia, that art most rich being poor, most choice forsaken, and most love despised, thee and thy virtues here I seize upon. Be it lawful, I take up what's cast away. Gods! 'Tis strange that through their coldest neglect, my love should rekindle to inflamed respect. Thy dowerless daughter, king throned to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, and our fair France. And not all the dukes of waterish Burgundy could buy this unprized precious maid of me. Bid them farewell, Cordelia, though unkind. Thou losest here a better where to find.
Now, Master France, let her be thine. For we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of hers again. Therefore be gone, without our grace, our love, our benison. Come, noble Burgundy.
Bid farewell to your sisters.
The jewels of our father, with washed eyes Cordelia leaves you. I know you what you are, and like a sister am most loath to call your faults as they are named. Love well our father, to your professed bosoms I commit him. But yet, alas, stood I within his grace, I would prefer him to a better place. So farewell to you both. Prescribe not us our duties.
Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at fortune's alms. You have obedience scanted, and well are worth the want that you have wanted.
Time shall unfold what plated cunning hides. Who cover faults, at last them shame derides. Well may he prosper.
Come, my fair Cordelia.
Sister, not a little I have to say to you that most nearly appertains to us both. I think our father will hence tonight.
That's most certainly with you, next month with us.
You see how full of changes his age is. The observation we have made of it hath not been little. He always loved our sister most. With what poor judgment he hath now cast her off appears too grossly.
'Tis but the infirmity of his age, yet he hath ever but slenderly known himself.
The best and soundest of his time hath been but rash. Now we must look to receive from his age the unruly waywardness that infirm and choleric years bring with them.
Such inconstant starts are we like to have from him as this of Kent's banishment.
Pray you, let's hit together. Our father carry authority with such disposition as he bears. This last surrender of his will but offend us.
We shall think further on't.
We must do something. And in the heat.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy laws my services are due. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom, and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me? For that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines like of a brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue, why brand they us with base? With baseness, bastardy, base. Base? Who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth in a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating of a whole tribe of fops got between awake and asleep. Well, legitimate Edgar, I must have your lands. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow, I prosper. Now God stand up for bastards.
Kent banished thus, and France in choler parted. The king corn tonight prescribed his power confined to exhibition. All this done upon the gad. How now, Edmund, what news?
So please your lordship, nothing.
Why so urgently seek you to put up that letter?
No news, my lord.
What paper were you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
Nothing. Then what needed that terrible dispatch of it into your pocket? The quality of nothing hath not need to hide itself. Come, if it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
I beseech you, sir, pardon me. It is a letter from my brother, which I have not yet all read. And for so much as I have perused, I find it not fit for your o'erlooking.
Give it to me, sir.
Oh, I shall offend either to detain or give it. The contents, as in part I understand them, are to blame.
Let's see.
Well, I hope for my brother's justification that he wrote this fun as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy and reverence of age makes the world bitter to the best of our times, keeps our fortunes from us till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffered. Come to me that of this I may speak more. If our father would sleep till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue forever, and live the beloved of your brother Edgar. Conspiracy! My son Edgar had a hand to write this, a heart and a brain to breed it. Whence came this to you? Who brought it?
Well, it was not brought me, Lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown in at the casement of my closet.
You know the character to be your brother's?
Well, if the matter were good, my lord, I durst swear it were his. But in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
It is his.
Well, it is his hand, my lord. But I hope his heart is not in the contents.
Hath he never heretofore sounded you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him oft maintain it fit that sons being at perfect age and fathers declining, the father should be as ward to the son, and the son manage his revenues.
Villain! Villain! His very opinion in the letter! Abominable villain! Detested Brutus! Worse than Brutus! Go, Sarah! Apprehend him! Where is he?
I do not well know, my lord. If it shall please you to suspend your indignation against my brother till you can derive from him better testimony of his intent, you should run a certain course, where, if you violently proceed against him, mistaking his purpose, well, it would make a great gap in your honor, and shake in pieces the very heart of his obedience. I dare pawn down my life for him, that he hath writ this but to feel my affection to your honor, and to no other pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it me, I will place you where you shall hear us confer of this, and that without any further delay this very evening.
He cannot be such a monster.
Nor is not sure.
To his father that so entirely and tenderly loves him. Heaven and earth, seek him out, Edmund.
I will seek him so presently. Convey the business as I shall find means, and acquaint you with all.
These late eclipses of the sun and moon portend no good to us. Though the wisdom of nature can reason it thus and thus, yet nature itself is scourged by the sequent effects. Love cools, friendship falls off, brothers divide. In cities, mutinies. In countries, discord. In palaces, treason. And the bond cracked twixt father and son. This villain of mine comes under the prediction. Their son against father. The king falls from bias of nature. There's father against child. We have seen the best of our times. Howlness, machinations, treachery, and all ruinous disorder follow us disquietly to our graves. Find out this villain, Edmund. Do it carefully. And the noble and true-hearted Kent banished. His offense, honesty. It is strange.
This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the surfeits of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains of necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, traitors by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience to planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on, an excellent evasion of whoremaster man, to lay his goatish disposition on the charge of a star. Well, my father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, and thus it follows that I am rough and lecherous. Bah! I should have been that I am, had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. And back he comes, like the catastrophe of an old comedy. Like you, his villainous melancholy, and a sigh like Tom of Bentham. Oh, These eclipses do portend these divisions.
How now, Brother Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
Oh, I was thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day. What should follow these eclipses?
Do you busy yourself with that?
I promise you the effects he writes of succeed unhappily, as of unnaturalness between the child and parent. Death, dearth, dissolution of ancient amities, divisions in state, menaces and maledictions against the king and nobles, needless differences, banishment of friends, dislocation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a secretary astronomical?
Oh, come. When saw you my father last?
Why, the night gone by.
Spake you with him?
By 2 hours together.
Parted you on good terms? Found you no displeasure in him by word or countenance?
None at all.
Bethink yourself where you have offended him, and at my entreaty forbear his presence until some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, which at this instant so rageth in him, that with the mischief of your person it would scarce allay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I pray you, have a continent forbearance till the speed of his rage goes slower. As I say, retire with me to my lodging, from whence I will quickly bring you to hear my lord speak. Pray you go. There's my key. If you do stir abroad, go armed.
Armed, brother.
Brother, I advise you to the best. Go armed. I am no honest man if there be any good meaning towards you. I have told you what I have seen and heard, but faintly, nothing like the image and horror of it. Pray you, away.
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you in this. A credulous father and a brother noble, whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, upon whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy. I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have lands by wit. All's meet with me, that I can fashion fit.
My father strike my gentleman for chiding of his fool?
Yes, madam.
Day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other that sets us all at odds. But I'll not endure it. His nights grow riotous and himself upbraids us at every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick. If you come slack of former services, you shall do well. The fault of it, I'll answer.
He's coming, madam.
I hear him.
Put on what weary negligence you please, you and your fellows. I have it come to question. He distaste it? Let him to my sister, whose mind and mine I know in that are one, not to be overruled. Idle old man, that still would manage those authorities he hath given away. Now by my life, old fools are babes again, and must be used with checks and flatteries when they are seen abused. Remember what I tell you.
Well, madam.
And let his knights have colder looks among you. What grows of it no matter, advise your fellows so. I breed from hence occasions, and I shall, that I may speak. I'll write straight to my sister to hold my very course. Prepare for dinner.
If but as well I other accents borrow that can my speech diffuse, my good intent may carry through itself to that full issue to which I have raised my likeness. Now, banished Kent, if thou canst serve where thou dost stand condemned, so may it come thy master whom thou lovest shall find thee full of labors.
Let me not stay a jot for dinner, go get it ready.
Now what art thou?
A man, sir.
What wouldst thou profess? What wouldst thou with us?
I do profess to be no less than I seem. To serve him that will truly put me in trust, to love him who is honest, to converse with him who is wise and says little, to fear judgment, to fight when I cannot choose, and to eat no fish.
What art thou?
A very honest-hearted fellow, Caius by name, as poor as the king.
Ah, thou beest as poor for a subject as he is for a king. Thou art poor enough. What wouldst thou?
Service.
And who wouldst thou serve? Dost thou know me, fellow?
No, sir. But you have that in your countenance which I would fain call master.
What's that?
Authority.
Ah. What services canst thou do?
I can keep honest counsel, ride, run, mar a curious tale in telling, and deliver a plain message bluntly. That which ordinary men are fit for, I am qualified in, and the best of me is diligence.
How old art thou?
Not so young, sir, to love a woman for singing, nor so old to dote on her for anything. I have years on my back, 40 years.
Follow me, thou shalt serve me. If I like thee no worse after dinner, I will not part from thee yet. Dinner! Oh, dinner! Where's my knave, my fool? Go you and call my fool hither. Ah, you, sir, come you with it, sir. Where's my daughter?
So please you.
What's this, the fellow there? Pull the cloth, pull back. Dinner, where's my fool? I think the world's asleep. Now, where's that mongrel?
He says, my lord, your daughter is not well.
Why came not the slave back to me when I called him?
Sire, he answered me in the roundest manner he would not.
He would not.
My lord, I know not what the matter is, but to my judgment, your highness is not entertained with that ceremonious affection as you were wont.
Huh?
There's a great abatement of kindness appears as well in the general dependence as in the Duke himself also, and your daughter.
What sayest thou so?
I beseech you pardon me, my lord, if I be mistaken, for my duty cannot remain silent when I think your highness wronged.
Thou but rememberest me of mine own conception. I perceived the most faint neglect of late, which I blamed on rather my own jealous curiosity than as a very pretense and purpose of unkindness. I will look further into it. But where's my fool? I have not seen him these 2 days.
Since my young lady's going into France, sir, the fool hath much pined away.
Yes, and no more of that. I have noted it well. Go you and tell my daughter I would stay for that. Go you, call hither my fool. Ah, you, sir. Come you here, sir. Who am I, sir?
My lady's father.
Lady's father. My lord's knave, you horse and dog, you slave, you cur.
I am none of these, my lord. I beseech your pardon.
You bandy looks with me, you rascal.
I'll not be struck, my lord.
You'll trick neither, you base football player.
Oh, I thank thee, Caius. Thou servest me, and I love thee.
Come, sir, arise. Away. I teach you differences. Away. Away. If you will measure your lover's length again, tarry, but away. Go to. Have you wisdom? Sir.
Now, my friendly knave, I thank thee. There's earnest of thy service.
Let me hire him too. Here's my coxcomb.
Now, my pretty knave, how dost thou?
Sir, thou were best take my coxcomb.
Why, fool?
Why, for taking one's part that's out of favour. Nay, if thou canst not smile as the wind sits, thou catch cold shortly. There, take my coxcomb. But why, this fellow has banished 2 own's daughter and gave the 3rd a blessing against his will. If thou follow him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb. How now, uncle? Would I had 2 coxcombs and 2 daughters?
Why, my boy?
If I gave them all my living, I'd keep my coxcombs myself. There's mine. Beg another of thy daughters. Truth's a dog that must to kennel. He must be whipped out while the lady bitch may stand by the fire and stink.
Pestilent gall to me.
Sir, I'll teach thee a speech. Sure. Mark it. Have more than thou showest, speak less than thou knowest, lend less than thou owest, ride more than thou goest, leave thy drink and thy whore, and keep in a door, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to the score.
This is nothing, fool.
Then 'tis like the breath of an unfeed lawyer. You gave me nothing for it. Can you make no use of nothing, uncle?
I know, my boy, nothing can be made out of nothing.
Prithee, tell him so much the rent of his land comes to, he will not believe a fool.
A bitter fool.
Dost thou know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet fool?
No, lad, teach me.
That lord that counselled thee to give away thy land, complace him here by me, do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear. The one in motley here, the other found out there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All thy other titles thou hast given away, than thou wast born with.
This is not altogether fool, my lord.
No, faith. Lords and great men will not let me, and ladies too, they will not let me have all fool to myself. They'll be snatching. Uncle, give me an egg, and I'll give thee 2 crowns.
And what 2 crowns shall they be?
Well, after I have cut the egg in the middle and eat up the meat, the 2 crowns of the egg. When thou clovest thy crown in the middle and gavest away both parts, thou borest thine ass on thy back o'er the dirt. Thou hast little wit in thy bald crown when thou gavest thy golden one away. If I speak like myself in this, let him be whipped that first finds it so. Fools had ne'er less wit in a year, for wise men are grown foppish, and know not where their wits to wear, their manners are so apish.
Where's thou want to be so full of songs, sirrah?
I have used it, uncle, ever since thou madest thy daughters thy mothers. For when thou gavest them the rod, and putst down thine own breeches, then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung, that such a king should play Bo Peep, and go the fools among. Prithee, uncle, keep a schoolmaster that can teach thy fool to lie. I would fain learn to lie.
And you lie, sirrah, will have you whipped.
I marvel what kin thou and thy daughters are. They'll have me whipped for speaking true, thou have me whipped for lying, and sometimes I am whipped for holding my peace. I had rather been any kind of thing than a fool. And yet I would not be thee, uncle. Thou hast perished thy wit on both sides, and left nothing in the middle. Ah, here comes one of the pairing.
Ah, how now, daughter? What makes that frontlet on? Methinks you are too much of late in the frown.
Thou wast a pretty fellow when thou had no need to care for her frowning. Now thou art an O without a figure. I am better than thou art now. I am a fool, thou art nothing. Yes, forsooth, I will hold my tongue, so your face bids me, though you say nothing. Mum. Mum. That's a shell piece gone.
Not only, sir, this, your all-licensed fool, but other of your insolent retinue do hourly carp and quarrel, breaking forth in rank and not to be endured rights. Sir, I thought by making this well known unto you to have found a safe redress, but now grow fearful by what yourself too late hath spoken done, that you protect this course, and put it on by your allowance, which if you should, the fault would not scape censure.
For you know, uncle, the hedge sparrow fed the cuckoo so long that it had its head bit off by its young. So out went the candle, and we were left darkling.
Are you our daughter?
Come, sir, I would you would make use of that good wisdom whereof I know you are fraught, and put away these dispositions which have late transformed you from what you rightly are.
May not an ass know when the cart draws the horse. Jolly, I love thee.
Does any here know me? This is not Lear. Where is I? Either his notion weakens or his discernings are lethargy waking? Or 'tis not so. Who is it that can tell me who I am?
Lear's shadow.
I would learn that, for by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason I should be false persuaded I had daughters.
Which they will make an obedient father.
Your name, fair gentlewoman?
This admiration, sir, is much of the savor of other your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright, as you are old and reverend, should be wise. Here do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our court, infected by their manners, shows like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust make it more like a tavern or a brothel than a graced palace. The shame itself doth speak for instant remedy. Be then desired by her that else will take the things she begs, a little to disquantity your trade, and the remainder that shall still depend to be such men as may besort your age and know themselves and you.
Darkness and devils! Saddle my horses, call my train together, Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee. Yet have I left a daughter.
You strike my people, and your disordered rabble make servants of their betters.
Whoa, that's too late, repent. Ah, sir, are you come? Is it your will? Speak, sir. Prepare my horses. Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou showst thee in a child than a sea monster.
Pray, sir, be patient.
Detested kite, thou liest. My train are men of choice and rarest parts, who all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. Most small fault. How unlatest thou in Cordelia's show, which like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all love and added to the gore. Oh, Lear, beat at this gate. Let thy folly in and thy dear judgment out. Go, my people.
My lord, I'm guiltless as I'm ignorant of what hath
It
moved
may be
you.
so, my lord. Here, nature. Here, dear goddess, here. Suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Your womb conveys sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, that from her delicate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, pray her child a spleen, that it may live and be a thwart disnatured torment to her, that it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks, turn all a mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away.
Now, gods that we adore, whereof comes this?
Never afflict yourself to know the cause. Let his disposition have the scope that dotage gives it.
What? 50 of my followers at a clap? Within a fortnight?
What's the matter, sir?
I tell thee, life and death, I am ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus. That these hot tears which break from me perforce should make thee worth them. Blasts and fogs upon me. The untended woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Hold fond eyes. Beweep this cause again, I'll pluck you out and cast ye with the waters that you lose to temper clay. Hey, is it come to this? Let it be so. I have another daughter, whom I'm sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee with her nails, she'll flay thy wolfish visage. Thou shalt find I will resume that shape that thou dost think I have cast off forever. Thou shalt, I warrant thee.
Do you mark that, my lord?
I cannot be so partial, Goneril, to the great love I bear.
Oh, pray you content. What ho! You, sir, more knaves than full after your master.
Nuncle Lear, dare him take thy fool with thee. A fox, when one has caught her, and such a daughter, should show to the slaughter as my cat could by a halter. So the fool followed up.
This man hath had good counsel. 100 knights? 'Tis safe and politic to let him keep at point 100 knights. Yes, that on every dream, each buzz, each fancy, complaint, dislike, he may enguard his dotage with their powers and hold our lives in mercy. What I say!
Well, you may fear too far.
Better than trust too far. Let me still take away the harms I fear, not fear still to be taken. I know his heart. What he hath uttered I have writ my sister. If she should sustain him in his 100 knights when I have showed the unfitness. What, Oswald? Have you writ that letter to my sister?
Yes, ma'am.
Take you some company and await a horse. Inform her full of my particular fear, and thereto add such reasons of your own that may compact it more. What you going? No, my lord. This milky gentleness and course of yours, though I condemn not, yet under pardon, you are much more attached for want of wisdom than you are praised for harmful mildness.
How far your eyes may pierce, I cannot tell. Striving to better, oft we mar what's well.
Nay then.
Well, the hence.
Go you before to Cornwall.
With this letter, acquaint my daughter Regan no further with anything you know than comes from her demand out of the letter. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there afore ye.
I will not sleep, my lord, until I have delivered your letter.
Shalt see if thy other daughter will use thee kindly. For though she's as like this as a crab's like an apple, yet I can tell what I can tell.
Roy, what canst thou tell, my boy?
She will taste as like this as a crab does a crab. Thou canst not tell why one's nose stands in the middle of one's face.
No.
Why to keep one's eyes on either side one's nose, that what a man cannot smell out he may spy into.
I did her wrong.
Canst tell how an oyster makes its shell?
No.
Nor I neither. But I know why a snail has a house.
Why?
Why to put's head in, not to give it away to his daughters and leave his horns without a case.
I will forget my nature. So kind a father. Leave my horses ready.
Thine asses are gone about them. The reason why the 7 stars are no more than 7 is a pretty reason.
Because they are not 8.
Yes, indeed, thou wouldst make a good fool.
To take it again, perforce. Monster ingratitude.
If thou wert my fool, uncle, I'd have thee beaten for being old before thy time.
How's that?
Thou shouldst not have been old until thou had been wise.
Let me not be mad. Not mad, sweet heaven. Keep me in temper. I would not be mad. Now, the horse is ready.
Ready, my lord?
Come, boy.
She that's a maid now, and laughs at my departure, shall not be a maid long, unless things be cut shorter.
And you, sir, I have been with your father and given him notice that the Duke of Cornwall and Regan his Duchess will be here with us at Gloucester this night.
How comes that?
Nay, I know not. You have heard the news abroad. I mean, the whispered ones.
But I pray you, what are they?
Have you heard of no unlikely war towards twixt the Dukes of Cornwall and Albany?
Not a word.
You may do then in time. Fare you well, sir.
But you to be here tonight. The better. Best. This weaves itself perforce into my business. My father hath set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing of a queasy question which I must act. Briefness and fortune work. Brother, a word! Brother, descend, I say! My father watch no serve fly in this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. Got now the good advantage of the night. Have you nothing said against the Duke of Cornwall aught? He's coming hither now, in the night, in their haste, and Regan with him. Have you nothing said upon his part against the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself. I am sure not a word. Hear my father coming. Pardon me. In cunning, I must draw upon you. Draw and seem to defend yourself. How about you? Torches! Torches! Light ho! Here! Yield before my father! Ho! Away, brother, fly! Torches! Torches! So farewell! Some blood drawn upon me will beget opinion of my more fierce endeavor. Well, I've seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Father! Father! Stop! Stop! What? No help?
Now, Edmund, where is the villain?
There stood he, sir, in the dark, a sharp sword out, muttering of wicked charms. conjuring the moon to Stan's auspicious mistress.
But where is he?
Sir, I bleed.
Where is the villain, Edmund?
Not that way, sir, but by no
Go
means.
pursue, go after. By no means what?
Persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But then I told him the revenging gods against parricides did all their thunders bend. Spoke with how manifold and strong a bond the child was bound to the father. And find, sir, seeing how loathly opposed I stood to his unnatural purpose, in fell motion with his prepared sword, he charges home my unprovided body and lashed my arm. But when he saw my best alarum spirits bold in the quarrel's right, roused to the endeavor, for whether gasted by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled.
Let him fly far. Not in this kingdom shall he remain on court. And pound dispatch. The noble Duke, my master, my worthy arch and patron, comes tonight. By his authority, I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, bringing the murderous coward to the stake. He that conceals him death.
But I dissuaded him from his intent and found him plight to do it. With cursed speech I threatened to discover him, and he replied, "Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think if I should stand against thee with the proposal of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee, make thy words faith? No, what I should deny, as this I would, though thou didst produce my very character, I turn it all to thy suggestion."
Strong and fast and villain. Would he deny his letter, said he. I never got him. The Duke comes tonight. I know not why. All ports are barred against the miller's escape. Besides, both far and near his picture are said that all the kingdom shall have due note of him. And of my lands, loyal and natural boy, I'll work the means to make thee capable.
How now, my noble friend? Since I came hither, which I can call but now, I have heard strange news.
If it be true, our vengeance comes too short which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord?
Lady, my bold heart is cracked, it's cracked.
What? Did my father's godson seek your life, he whom my father named your Edgar?
Madam, shame would have it hid.
Was he my companion with the riotous knights that tend upon my father?
I know not, lady, 'tis too bad, too bad.
Ay, madam, he was of that consort.
No marvel then though he were ill-affected. 'Tis they have put him on the old man's death to have the expense and waste of his revenues. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there.
Nor I, assure thee, Regan. Edmund, I hear you have shown your father a most childlike office.
It was my duty, sir.
He did expose his practice and received this virtue, striving to apprehend him.
Is he pursued?
Aye, my good lord.
If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall much need. You first we seize on.
I shall serve you, sir, truly, however else.
I thank him for your grace.
Know you not why we came to visit you?
Thus out of season, threading dark-eyed night. Occasions, noble Gloucester, of some boys wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father, he hath writ, so hath our sister, of differences between. Oh, our dear old friend, lay comforts to your bosom and bestow your needful counsel to our business which craves the instant use.
I serve you, madam. Your graces are right welcome.
Beggarly, filthy, worsted stocking, lily liver knave! A whoreson, super serviceable, finical rogue! One that would be a bawd in the way of good service and art nothing but the composition of a knave, beggar, panderer, coward, and the son and heir of a mongrel bitch! one whom I will beat into clappers whining if I deny the least syllable of thy addition.
Why, what a monstrous fellow art thou, lest to rail no one that is neither known of thee nor knows thee.
What a brazen-faced varlet art thou to deny thou knowest me? Is it 2 days ago since I tripped up thy heel and beat thee before the king? Draw, you rogue, for though it be night yet the moon shines. I'll make a supper moonshiner. You draw, you whoresome barbermonger, draw!
Away! Thou have nothing to do with thee!
Draw, rogue! You bring letters against the king, and take vanity, the puppet's part, against the royalty of her father. Draw, knave, or I'll so carbonado your shanks. Draw, rogue, come your ways!
Help! Help! Murder! Help!
Strike, slave! Stand, rogue, stand, you neat slave, strike!
Help! Murder! Murder!
How now? What's the matter? What? With you, goodman boy? If you please. Come, I'll flesh you, young master.
Holmes, what's the matter here?
Keep peace upon your lives. He dies that strikes again. What is the matter?
The messengers from my sister and the king.
What is your difference? Speak.
I'm scarce in breath, my lord.
No marvel. You so bestirred your valiant coward. Nature disclaims in thee. A tailor may be. Oh, a strange fellow. A tailor make a man? Aye, sir, a tailor. The stonecutter or painter would not have made him so ill, though they've been but 2 days at the trade. How grew your quarrel?
This ancient ruffian, sir, whose life I have spared in suit of his grey hair.
Thou whoreson zed! Thou unnecessary letter! My lord, if you will give me leave, I will tread this unbolted villain into mortar and daub the wall of a jakes with him. Spare my grey hair, you wagtail!
Peace, sirrah! You beastly knave, know you no reverence?
Aye, sir, but anger hath a privilege.
Why art thou angry?
That such a slave as this should wear a sword who wears no honesty. Such smiling rogues as these renege affirm and turn their halcyon beaks with every gale and vary of their masters, knowing not like dogs, but following. A plague on your epileptic visage. Smile my speeches as I were a fool? Goose, if I had you on the Surrey plains, I'd drive you cracking home to Camelot.
But are you mad?
How fell you out? Say that.
No contraries hold more antipathy than I and such a knave.
Why dost thou call him knave? What is his fault?
His countenance likes me not.
No more, perchance, does mine, nor his, nor hers.
Sir, 'tis my occupation to speak plain. I have seen better faces in my day than stand on any shoulder I see before me at this instant.
This is the kind of fellow who, having been praised for his bluntness, doth affect a saucy roughness. He cannot flatter, he, no, a simple mind and true. He must speak truth, and they will take it. So, if not, he's plain. This sort of rascal harbors in his plainness more craft and more corrupter ends than 20 silly ducking observants who stretch their duties nicely. What offense have you given?
No, I never gave him any. It pleased the king, his master, very late, to strike at me upon his misconstruction, when he, conjunct in flattering his displeasure, tripped me behind, got praises of the king for him attempting you with self-subdue, and in the fleshman of this dread exploit drew on me here again.
Fetch forth the stocks, you reverend braggart, you ancient knave, will teach.
I am too old, sir, to learn. Call not your stocks for me. I serve the king, on whose employment I was sent to you. You shall show small respect, show true bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stalking his messenger.
Bring out the stocks. If I have life and honor, there he shall sit until noon.
Till noon? Till night, my lord. And all night, too.
Why, madam, if I was your father's dog, you would not use me so.
Sir, being his knave, I will.
Yes, this is a fellow of the self-same custom our sister speaks of. Bring out the stocks!
I do beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the good king and his master will check him for it. Your purpose, no correction, is such as basis and contenders wretches for a common trespass and pilferings are punished with. The king, his master, needs must take it ill that he so slightly valued in his servant should have him thus restrained.
I'll answer that.
My sister may receive it much more worse to have her gentleman abused, assaulted for following her affairs. Put in his face.
pleasure, whose disposition all the world well knows will not be rubbed nor stopped, I'll entreat for thee.
Pray do not, sir. I have watched and traveled hard. Sometime I shall sleep out. The rest, I'll whistle. A good man's fortunes may grow out at heels. Give you good morrow.
The Duke's to blame in this, 'twill be ill taken.
Come thou, beacon, to this underglow, so that by thy comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. I know it is from Cordelia, who hath most fortunately been informed of my obscured course, and shall find time in this enormous state, seeking to give losses their remedies. All's weary and overwatched. Take vantage, heavy eyes, not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more. Turn thy wheel.
I heard myself proclaim, and by the happy hollow of a tree escaped the hunt. No port is free, no place at guard, and most unusual vigilance does not attend my taking. Whilst I may skim it, I will preserve myself, and am bethought to take the basest and most poorish shape that ever penury and contempt of man brought near to beast. My face I'll grind with filth, blanket my loins, elf-all my hair into knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedlam beggars, who with roaring voices from low farms pour pelting villages and mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers enforce their charity.
Poor Turlygard. Poor Tom.
That's something yet. Edgar, I nothing am.
'Tis strange that they should so depart from Cornwall, remove themselves to Gloucester's castle here, and not send back my messenger.
As I learned the night before, there was no purpose of the news removed.
Hail to thee, noble master.
Ah, makes thou this shame thy pastime?
No, my lord.
Look, he wears cruel garters. Horses are tied by the heads, dogs and bears by the neck, monkeys by the loins, and men by the legs. But when a man's over lusty at legs, he wears wooden nettles.
What's he that hath thy place so much mistook to set thee here?
It is both he and she, your son and daughter.
No.
Yes.
No, I say.
I say I.
No, they would not.
Yes, they have.
By Jupiter, I swear no.
By Juno, I swear I.
They durst not do it. They could not, would not do it. 'Tis worse than murder to do upon respect such violent outrage. Resolve me with all modest haste, which way thou mightst deserve, or they impose this usage, coming from us.
Sir, when at their home in Cornwall, I did commend your highness's letter to them. Ere I was risen from the place I showed my duty kneeling, came forth a reeking post, stewed in haste, panting from Goneril his mistress. Salutations, delivered letters, which they promptly read. They straight took horse and commanded me to follow here to Gloucester and await their answer. And meeting here that other messenger, whose welcome I perceive poisoned mine, being that very Oswald that of late displayed so saucily against your highness. Having more man than wit drew, he raised the house with loud and coward cries. Your son and daughter found the trespass worth the shame which here it suffers.
Winter's not gone yet if the wild geese fly that way. Fathers that wear rags will make their children blind, but fathers that wear money bags shall see their children kind. Fortune that Aaron Horner opes its gate to the poor, but for all this thou shalt have as many dolours for thy daughters as thou canst tell in a year.
Oh, how this mother swells up toward my heart. Hysterica passio. Down thou climbing sorrow, high elements below. Where is this daughter?
With the Earl, sir, here within.
Follow me not, stay here.
Made you no more offense than what you spoke of?
None. How chanced the king come with so small a train?
And thou hast been set in the stocks for that question. Thou hast well deserved it.
Why, fool?
There's not a nose among 100 but can smell him that's stinking. Let go thy hold when the great wheel runs downhill, lest it break thy neck with following it. But the great one that runs upward, let it draw thee after. That so which serves and seeks for gain and follows but for form, will pack when it begins to rain and leave thee in a storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise men fly. The knave turns fool who runs away, the fool no knave could be.
Where learned you this, fool?
Not in the stocks, fool.
Deny to speak with me. They're sick, they are weary. They've traveled all the night from Cornwall. Mere fetchers are the images of revolt and flying off. Fetch me a better answer. My dear lord, you know the fiery quality of the Duke, how unremovable and fixed he is in his own cause. Vengeance, plague, death, confusion. Fiery? What quality? By Gloucester, I'd speak with the Duke of Cornwall and his wife. Well, my lord, I have informed them so. Informed them? Dost thou understand me, man? The king would speak with Cornwall. The dear father would with his daughter speak. Commands, tend, service, are they informed of this? Ah, breath and blood, fiery. The fiery Duke, tell the hot Duke that Lear. No, not yet. We're not ourselves. But nature, being oppressed, commands the mind to suffer with the body. Maybe he is not well. I'll forbear. Death on my estate, wherefore should he sit here? Ha, this act persuades me that this avoidance of the Duke is practice only. Go tell the Duke and his wife I'd speak with them, now, presently. Bid them come forth and hear me, or at that chamber door I'll beat the drum till it lie sleep to death. I would have all well betwixt you, my lord. My heart. My rising heart. What now?
Cry to it, uncle, as the cockney did the eels when she put them in the pastry alive. She napped them on the coxcombs with a stick and cried, down, wantons, down.
You come. Hail to your grace.
I'm glad to see your highness.
Regan, I think you are. I know what reason I have to think so. If thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, sepulchring an adulteress. Are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan. My sister's loft. Oh, Regan, she hath tied sharp tooth unkindness like a vulture here. I can scarce speak to thee. Thou not believe. With what depraved equality. Oh, Regan.
Pray, sir, take patience. I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she to scant her duty.
There's that.
I cannot believe my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of your followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curses on her.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of her confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore I pray you that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her, sir.
Ask her forgiveness. Do you but mark how this becomes the house. Dear daughter, I confess that I am old. Age is unnecessary on my knees. I beg thou wilt vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
Sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
Never repent. She hath abated me of half my trade, looked black upon me, cursed me with a tongue most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven fall on her ungrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs, with lameness.
Thigh, sir, thigh.
You nimble lightnings dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty, you fen-sucked fogs, drawn by the
the powerful sun to fall and blister.
Blessed God, so will you wish on me when the rash mood's on?
Now, Regan, thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hearted nature shall not give thee aught of harshness. Her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort and not burn. 'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, and in conclusion to oppose the bolt against my coming in. Thou better know'st the offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half of the kingdom hast thou not forgot, wherein I thee endowed.
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
The trumpets, that.
My sister, this proves her letter that she would soon be here. Is your lady come?
This is a slave, whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight.
What means your grace?
Who stopped my servant? Regan, I have good hopes thou didst not know it. Oh, heavens, who comes here? Ah, heavens, if you do love old men, if your sweet sway allow obedience, if you yourselves are old, make it your cause. Send down and take my part. Art not ashamed to look upon this beard? Regan, will you take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? Not all offense that indiscretion finds in dotage terms so.
Oh, silence, you are too tough. Will you yet hold? How came my man in the stocks?
I set him there, sir, though his own disorders deserved much less advance.
You did you?
I pray you, father, being weak seems so. If to the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I'm now from home and out of those provisions which shall be needful for your entertainment.
Return with her, and 50 men dismissed. No, rather I abjure all rules, and choose to wage against the enmity of the air, to be a comrade with the wolf and owl, necessities, sharp pinch. Return with her, without blooded France. The dowerless took our youngest born. I could as well be made to knee his throne and squire like pension beg to keep base life afoot. Return with her, persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom.
At your choice, sir.
I prithee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child. Farewell, we'll no more meet, no more see one another. And yet, thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter, or rather, a boil that's in my corrupted flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a carbuncle on a plague sore in my corrupted blood, but I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will, I do not call it, I do not bid the thunder bearers shoot, or tell tales of thee to high judging Jove, mend when thou canst. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan. I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so, sir. I looked not for you yet, nor am I provided for your fit welcome. Give the answer to my sister, but those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think your own, and so she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken now?
Tell about it, sir. What, 50 followers, is that not well? What should you need of more, yea, or so many, since both charge and danger speak against so great a number? How in one house should so many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Why might not you, my lord, receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? Then if they chance to slack ye, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all.
And in good time you gave it.
Made you my guardians, my depositaries, but kept the reservation to be followed with such a number. What must I come to you with 5 and 20? Regan said you so?
Speak again, my lord. No more with me.
Those wicked creatures yet do look well favored when others are more wicked. Not being the worst stands in some rank of praise. I'll go with thee. Thy 50 at the double 5 and 20, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 5 and 20, 10 or 5, to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend you?
What needs why?
Oh, reason not to need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beasts. Thou art a lady, if only to go warm, were gorgeous. While nature needs not what thou gorgeous wearest, but for true need, oh heavens, grant me that patience I need. You see me here, you gods, a poor old man, as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stir these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons water drops stain these man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags, I will have such revenges on you both, that all the world shall. I will do such things, what they are yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break into 100,000 flaws, or ere I'll weep. Oh, I should go mad.
Let us withdraw. There will be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
Tis his own flame that hath put himself from rest and must needs taste his folly.
For his own particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower.
So am I purposed.
The king is in high rage.
Whither goes he?
He calls to horse, but will I know not whither.
Best not to stop him. He needs himself now.
The Lord entreat him by no means to stay.
Alack, the night comes on, and the cruel winds do sorely ruffle. For many mile about, there's scarce a bush.
Sir, to willful men, the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your doors. He is attended with the desperate trade in what they may incense him to, being apt to have his ear abused. Wisdom bids fear.
Shut up your doors, sir. 'Tis a wild night. My Regan counsels well. Come out with the sword.
Sir, I do know, and dare upon the warrant of my note commend a dear thing to you. There is division betwixt Albany and Cornwall. You have servants who are for France, spies that have given intelligence of our state, what hath been seen either in stuffings and packings of the dukes, or the harboring which both of them are born against the old kind king. Something deeper. But true it is, from France there comes a power into this scattered kingdom, who already some of our best reports are at a point to show their open battle. Now to you, if on my credit you dare to build so far as to make your speed to Dover, there you shall find some that will thank you, making just report of how unnatural and bematting sorrows the king hath caused to plague. I am a gentleman of blood and breeding, and from some knowledge and assurance offer this office to you.
I will talk further with you.
No, do not. For confirmation that I am more than my outwall, open this purse and take You shall see Cordelia, and fear not that you shall. Show her this ring. She will tell you who your fellow is that yet you do not know.
Give me your hand.
Fire on the storm. I will go and seek the king.
I like not this unnatural dealing. When I desire their leave, that I might pity him, and they took from me the use of mine own house, charged me on pain of their perpetual displeasure, not to speak of him, entreat for him, nor anyway sustain him.
Most savage and unnatural.
Go to, say you nothing. There is a division between the dukes, and a worse matter than that. I have received a letter this night. 'Tis dangerous to be spoken. These injuries the king now bears will be revenged home in this part of the power already footed. We must incline to the king. I will seek him out and privily relieve him. Go you and maintain talk with the duke, that my charity be not of him perceived. If he ask of me, I am ill and gone to beg. Though I die for aught is no less is threatened me, the king, my old master, must be relieved. There is dangerous things toward Edmund. Pray you, be careful.
This courtesy forbid thee. Shall the duke instantly know. And of this letter too. This seems a fair deserving, and must draw me that which my father loses, no less than all. The younger rises when the old doth fall.
Here's the place, my lord. Good my lord, enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure.
Oh, let me alone.
Good my lord, enter here.
Will break my heart.
Oh, I'd rather break mine own. Good my lord, enter.
Thou think'st 'tis much that this contentious storm invades to the skin. So 'tis to thee. But where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou shalt shun a bear. But if thy flight lay toward the roaring sea, thou'st meet the bear in the mouth. When the mind's free, the body's delicate. This tempest in my mind does from my senses take all feeling else. Say what beats there? Filial ingratitude. It's not as if this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it. But I will punish both. No, I will weep no more. On such a night as shut me out. Pour on, I will endure. On such a night as this, Regan Goneril, your old-time father, whose frank heart gave you all. That when madness lies, no more of that, let me shun that.
Good my lord, enter here.
Now, prithee, go in thyself, seek thine own ease. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things would hurt me more. But I'll go in. Boy, go first. Houseless poverty. Hey, get me in. I'll pray. Then I'll sleep. Poor naked wretches, wheresoe'er you are, bide the pelting of this pitiless storm. How shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your loop and window raggedness defend you from seasons such as these? I've taken too little care of this. Take physic, monk. Expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayst shake the superflux to them, and show their heavens more just.
Go to thy cold bed and warm thee.
2 daughters and not now come to this?
Who gives anything to poor Tom, whom the foul fiend hath led through fire, through flame, through ford, and through whirlpool? O bargain quagmire, that hath laid knives under his pillow and halters in his pew, sent rats bane by his porridge, and made him hunt his own shadow for a traitor.
Bless thy 5 winds, poor Tom's cold. Bless thee from whirlwind, stop blasting and taking. Do poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes.
There should I have him now, and there again, and there!
Have his daughters brought him to this pass? Wouldst thou save nothing? Wouldst thou give him all?
Nay, he reserved a blanket, else we had been all shamed.
Not all the plagues that in the pendulous air hang fated omens false. Light on thy daughter.
He hath no daughter, sir.
There, traitor, nothing could have subdued nature to such a lowness but his unkind daughters. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Judicious punishment. Was this flesh begot those pelican daughters?
Billycock sat on Billycock Hill. Halloo! Halloo! No! No!
This cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen.
Take heed of the foul fiend. Obey thy parents. Swear not. Keep thy word justly.
Commit not the man's sworn spouse. Set thou not thy sweetheart on proud array. Tom's cold.
What hast thou been?
A serving man, proud in heart and mind. The comb of my hair will close in my hat. Sealed the lust of my mistress's heart and did the act of darkness with her. Swore as many oaths as I spake words and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that slept in it, contriving at lust and wake to do it. Why not begging? Die still, and a woman out paramour the Turk. Let not the creaking of shoes nor the rustling of suits betray thy poor heart to woman. Keep thy foot out of brothels, thy hand out of brackets, thy pen from lenders' books, and defy the foul fiend. Still through the hawthorn blows the cold wind. Christ's soul, mourn Nonny. Elfin, my boy. My boy? Sissy. Let him trot by.
Why, thou wert better in thy grave than to answer with thy uncovered body this extremity of the sky. Is man no more than this? Consider him well. Thou's the worm no silk, beast no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. Ha! His Briones are sophisticated. How art the thing itself? Unaccommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare-forked animal as thou art. Come, unbutton here. Off, you lending.
Prithee, Knuckle, be contented. 'Tis a naughty night to swim in. Now, a little fire in a wild field. He's like an old lecher's heart, a small spot. All the rest on his body cold. Look, there comes a walking fire.
This is the foul fiend for liberty gibbet. He begins a curfew and walks till the first cock. Squeeze the eye, makes the hair knit, mildews the white wheat and herbs the poor creature of earth. Swift old-footed, thrice the wold, he met the nightmare at her nightfall and bid her alight, and her troth light. Let her right thee, witch, right thee!
How fares your grace?
What's he?
Who's there? What is it that you seek?
Where are you there? No names.
Poor Tom, that eats the swimming frog, toad, tadpole will haul you down the water. That in the fury of his heart when the foul fiend rages eats cow dung for salads. Who has went from tithing to tithing and stopped, punished and imprisoned. Who had 3 suits to his back, 6 shirts to his body. Horse to ride, weapon to wear. What mice and rats and such small deer have been Tom's food for 7 long years. Beware, my follower. Peace, smoking! Peace, thou fiend!
What have your grace no better company?
The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Modo he's called, and Mahu.
Our flesh and blood, my lord, is grown so vile that it doth hate what gets it.
Poor Tom's cold.
Come in with me. My duty cannot suffer to obey in all your daughter's hard commands, though her injunction be to bar my doors and let the tyrannous night take hold upon you.
Yet I have ventured to come seek you out and bring you both where fire and food are ready.
Well, first let me talk with my philosopher. What is the cause of thunder?
Good, my lord, take this kind offer, go into the house.
I'll speak a word with the same learned Theban. What is your study?
To prevent the fiend and to kill vermin.
Let me ask you a word in private.
You order him once more to go, my lord. His wits begin to unsettle.
Canst thou blame him? His daughters seek his life. Ah, that Kent he said would be mercy. Poor banished man. Now sayest the king goes mad. I'll tell thee, friend, I'm almost mad myself. I had a son, now outlawed from my blood. He sought my life, but lately, very late. Truth to tell thee, I loved him, friend. No father his son dearer. The grief hath crazed my wits. Night is this. I do beseech your grace.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir. Noble philosopher, your company.
Tom, Paul, and there, fellow, there, into the harbor, keep you warm.
Comrades all in.
My lord, this way.
Oh, with him I'll keep still with my philosopher.
Good, my lord, soothe him. Let him take the fellow.
Bring him on.
Come, Syria, go along with us.
Come, good Athenian.
Hush, hush, no words.
Child drove him to the dark tower king. Still his word was speed forward front. I smell the blood of a British man.
I will have my revenge ere I depart his house.
How I may be censured that nature thus gives way to loyalty, something fears me to think of.
I see now it was not altogether your brother's evil disposition that made him seek his father's death, but a provoking merit set to work by a reprovable badness in himself.
How malicious is my fortune that I must repent to be just. This is the letter that approves him intelligent party to the advantages of France. Oh, heavens! That this treason were not, or not I the detector.
Go with it to the Duchess.
If the matter of this paper be certain, you have mighty business at hand.
True or false, it hath made thee Earl of Gloucester. Seek out your father that he may be made ready for our apprehension.
If I find him comforting the king, it will stop his suspicions more fully. I will persevere in the course of my loyalty, though the conflict be sore between that and my blood.
I will place my trust upon thee, and you will find a dearer father in my love.
Here is better than the open air. Take it thankfully. I'll piece out the comfort with what addition I can. I will not be long from you.
Power of his wits, giving way to his impatience. The gods reward your kindness.
Gratinico calls me and tells me Nero is an angler in the lake of Darkness. Pray, innocent, and beware the foul fiend. Prithee, uncle, tell me whether a madman be a gentleman or a yeoman.
A king, a king.
No, he's a yeoman that has a gentleman to his son, for he's a mad yeoman that sees his son a gentleman before him.
Have 1,000 with red burning spits come hissing in upon him.
The foul fiend bites my back. He's mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf, a horse's health, a boy's love, or a whore's oath.
It shall be done, I will arraign them straight. Sit thou here, most learned justicer. Thou Sapient stir, sit here. Now, little she foxes.
Look where she stands and glares. Once our eyes at trial, madam, come all the born Bessie to me.
Her boat had a leak, and she must not speak, for she dare not come over to thee.
The foul fiend wants poor Tom in the voice of a nightingale. Up and dance cries in poor Tom's belly for 2 white herrings. Croak not, black angel. I have no food for thee.
How do you, sir? No, stand you're not so amazed. Will you lie down and rest upon the cushion?
I'll see their trial first. Bring in their evidence. Ah, thou noble man of justice, take thy place. Thou, his yokefellow in equity bench by his side. You are in the commission, sit you too.
Let us deal justly. The cat is grey.
Arraign her first. This Goneril. I here take my oath before this honourable assembly. Kick the poor king her father.
Come hither, mistress. Is your name Goneril?
No, she cannot deny it.
Cry your mercy. I took you for a joint stool.
And there's another, whose warped looks proclaim what store her heart is made on. Stop her there. Arms, fire, sword, corruption in the place. False justice, sir. Why hast thou let her escape?
Bless thy 5 wits.
Oh, pity. Where is the patience now that thou so oft boasted to retain?
My tears begin to take his part so much they'll mar my counterfeiting.
The little dogs and daughters, see? Tray, Blanche, and Sweetheart, they bark at me.
Tom will throw his head at them. Arr! Avaunt, you curs! Be thy mouth or black or white, tooth that poisons if it bite. Mastiff, greyhound, mongrel, grill. Hound or spaniel, bitch or him. A bobtail, tiger, trundle tail. Tom will make you weep and wail, for with throwing thus my head. Dogs leap the hatch, and all are fled. Oh, says it. Come, we'll march to Wakes and fairs and market towns. Oh, Tom, my horn is dry.
Then let them anatomize Regan. See what breeds about her heart. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? You, sir, I entertain for one of my 100, but I do not like the fashion of thy garments. You will say they are fine Persian attire, but let them be changed.
Good my lord, will you lie down and rest upon the cushions?
Oh, make no noise. Make no noise.
Draw the curtains.
So. 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 We'll go to supper in the morning.
And I'll go to bed at noon.
Come hither, friend. Where is the king, my master?
Here, sir, but trouble him not. His wits are gone.
I pray thee, friend, take him in thy arms. I've o'erheard a plot of death upon him. There is a litter ready. Lay him in it and drive thou toward Dover, where thou shalt meet with protection and welcome. Take up, take up. If thou shouldst dally half an hour, his life and thine and all that offer to defend him stand an assured loss. Take up, take up. And follow me, that will to some provision give thee quick conduct.
Pressed nature sleeps. This rest might yet have balmed thy broken sinews, which convenience would not allow stand in hard cure. Come, help bear thy master. Thou must not stay behind.
Come, come, away.
lord your husband, show him this letter. The army of France has landed. Go seek out the traitor Gloucester.
Hang him instantly. Pluck out his eyes.
Leave him to our displeasure. Edmund, keep you our sister company. The revenges we are bound to take upon your traitorous father are not fit for your beholding. Advise the Duke of Albany where you're going. To a most urgent preparation. We are bound to the like. Where's the king?
The old Lord of Gloucester hath conveyed him hence. Some 35 of the old king's knights, hot questress, after him, met him at gate, and are gone with him towards Dover, where they boast to have well-armed friends.
Get horses for your mistress.
Farewell, sweet lord and sister.
Farewell, dear sister. Farewell, my lord of Gloucester. Seek out the traitor Gloucester. Pinion him like a thief and bring him before us. Although we may not act upon his life without performing justice, yet our power will do some courtesy to our wrath, which men may blame, but not control. Who's there? The traitor?
Ungrateful fox, 'tis he.
Bind fast his corky arms.
Good my gracious, consider, friends. I am your host. Do me no foul blame.
Bind him, I say.
Heart of filthy traitor.
Unmerciful lady that you are, I'm none.
To this chair. Bind him. Thou shalt bind.
'Tis most ignobly done to pluck me by the beard.
Oh, so white, and such a traitor.
Naughty lady, those hairs which thou dost take from my chin will quicken and accuse thee. Good my friends, with robbers' hands, my hospitable favors, you should not ruffle thus.
Come, sir, what letters had you late from France?
A simple answer, for we know the truth.
And what confederacy have you with traitors late footed in the kingdom?
To whose hand have you sent the lunatic king? Speak!
I have a letter, guessingly set down, which comes from one that's of a neutral heart and not from one opposed.
Cunning.
And false!
Where hast thou sent the king?
To Dover.
Wherefore to Dover? Was thou not charged?
Wherefore to Dover? Let first him answer that.
I am tied to the stake, and I must stand the course.
Wherefore to Dover, sir?
Because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh stick boorish fangs. If wolves had at thy gate howled that stern time, thou shouldst have said, good porter, turn the key, all cruels are subscribed. But I shall see the winged vengeance o'ertake such children.
See it. Shalt thou never. Fellows, hold the chair. Upon these eyes of thine, I'll set my foot.
You little bitch, deliver me! Ah! Ah! Ah!
One side will mock another, the other too.
If you see vengeance,
Hold your hand, my lord! I've served you ever since I was a child, but better service I've never done you than now to bid you hold!
Now you dog.
If you did wear a beard upon your chain, I'd shake you on this quarrel. What do you mean?
what, my villain?
Nay then, come on and take the chance of anger.
Where's the sword? Peasant, stands up!
My lord, I am slain. You have one eye left to see some vengeance on.
Best did see arrows. Prevented. Out, my Johnny! Where's thy luster now?
Oh, dark and comfortless. Edmund! Edmund, kindle all the sparks of nature to quit this horrid business.
Thou treacherous villain! Thou call'st on him that hates thee. this, my lord.
That! I've received the hurt. Follow me, lady. Cast out this eyeless bird. Throw the slave in the thunder. Oh! 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 Oh, leave him. Oh, I'm untimely hurt. I bleed apace. Give me your hand.
I'll never care what wickedness I do if this man come to good.
If you live long, and in the end meet the old course of death, women will all turn monsters.
Let's follow the old earl.
Go thou, I'll fetch some blacks and whites of eggs to plight his bleeding face. Now heaven help him.